No foil amnesia. That's sad, Panda. Alright. Sultai Amnesia. For those that are wondering what amnesia refers to, it refers to this card here, Induced Amnesia. When this enters the battlefield, target player exiles all cards from their hand face down and then draws that many cards. When Induced Amnesia is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, return the exiled cards to their owner's hand. So this card has two different angles in this deck. The first is that when you have a Narset in play, if you play this card, you basically take your opponent's entire hand and give them one new card. The second is that we can induce amnesia ourselves, and then along with cards like Vraska, Golgari Queen, God-Eternal Bontu, or even Ugin's down tick, we can then kill our amnesia after we play out the new cards that we've drawn from it and get our old cards back. So like, we can use this to take away our opponent's hand, or we can use it to draw a new hand for ourselves, play it out, and then crack the amnesia and keep going from there. So in a way, this is a base blue black deck with a small green splash for this. This is also just like a Planeswalker-esque shell. We've got a bunch of Narsets, Saheeli, we've got some Karns, we got some Ugins and some Lilianas up here. So let's dive into some matches here and see how this goes. What do I think Wizards is waiting on for basic lands? The bandwidth to get it done. I think they realize people are ready to give them piles of money for basic lands, and I think they just like have a development team that's like already maxed out on things they need to do. Yeah, it's kind of like a build your own memory jar. Oh, you just automatically get the cards back? Oh, that's sweet. I just assumed it got rid of your hand. You're right. You're totally right. That is not included in the text. Yes. So, like, someone in chat just said this seems way too cute. One of the things I always challenge you to think about when you're looking at decks like this is because think about which cards we're playing and how many of these cards are individually good or bad outside of what we're trying to do with them. If you think about the cards this deck is actually playing, a lot of the cards in this deck are constructed playable on their own, right? Like, Induced Amnesia is like the only card of the bunch that's like not found in some other constructed decks in this format. And that is usually what I encourage people to think about as far as like, what is this deck constructed playable or not? That's a lot of damages really quickly. Alright, well we can't play this out now because she'll take 6 and die, and I don't think I want to play her as a gain 6. Well, I looked away because are we dead? I looked away and we died. I think I looked away and we died. They had the indestructible thing and we died. I looked away because I was responding to a message and I believe we have died. All right. Alright, sometimes that happens. Let's bring in all our removal spells and trim our top end a little bit. Our deck actually seems like it's going to line up pretty well into what the opponent's deck is doing. We have a lot of good tools here. Nixilis Cruelty especially is really good. Just a little unfortunate that they had both Feather and the Indestructible spell there. Otherwise, we probably would have been fine. This card, I think this is worse than Ugin. I'm gonna trim Saheeli because she just eats it. See, it's like not amazing, but like also has all of our colors and has like a discard spell, and like this hopefully finds removal. Maybe trim the enchantment. Nah, I want to do our thing. We have Narset, so hand's probably busted. Yeah, like this, and the opponent's deck, like, Thought Erasure is notably really good against the Feather archetype, because, like, you get to take, like, oftentimes their only threat. I think I have a creature. That was a good draw. They have Sprint and Krenko. Huh? Awkward. Awkward. Punished. I mean, Sprint plus Krenko's not really that rough when you consider I have Ritual of Soot sitting in my hand. Like, Sprint plus Krenko gives them 4 dorks, right? And like, that's if they wait till turn 4 to do it. Contempt is sweet. Yeah, like the Contempt alone is fine here.
Past, present, and keep an open mind.
Tasty. Tasty.
Meditate and prepare.
Hey, Damage Reflexion, thank you for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. You're having a good one wherever you're at. Why are we not doing the thing now? It would be more fun. I'm not into this whole waiting thing. Why didn't you do the trick? Do the trick. Do the trick.
My mind needs a rest.
Now we don't have a Narset. I blame you for everything. Yikes.
I know.
Got 2 more Contempts in my deck. That's pretty good. Pilot Ninja, thank you for the 413 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. They'd have one card in their hand, Burgle, and then they'd have a Krenko that could kill me. So I elected not to. I should have played Breeding Pool last turn instead of Overgrown Tomb. That was a mistake.
If you wish to surrender now,
Maybe I should Thought Erasure first to take their shock.
hone your prowess.
Quite possibly. All right.
Let's light it up.
Okay. I'm really surprised they gave us this. This could maybe let us stay in the game if we find a 2-mana removal spell here. Two or 3-mana removal spell. If we kill this turn, we'll be in a very good spot. I would have shocked this at least once, probably twice, honestly. Because I want to be able to draw cards with Defiant Strikes.
Just the trick for this. Whatever. Figure it out on your own.
Yeah, if this card was a rare or a mythic, I don't even want to think about how expensive it would be. It'd probably be as much as like Little Teferi, right? Little Teferi's kind of up there.
Then a challenge you'll get.
Karn's kind of good with Induced Amnesia too, right? Because Karn tends to give you cards that aren't particularly good. So Amnesia can turn those cards that are not particularly good into potentially something else. Yeah, $30 lets you add a standard or modern deck to the queue. I'd encourage you to submit it using the form on my website first, though, because I don't necessarily take everything that people submit. I do reject things on occasion. So you want to get a heads up and say, Jeff, is this something you're willing to play? You'd submit it using the form on my website, as detailed here.
This was overwhelming.
Yep, not a problem. Thanks for the support. I think I want to do this. Hey, Rage, thanks for the sub gifties. I appreciate that. You can use that to submit a deck too, by the way. Yeah, totally. I don't think the Hakag deck is more bust than anything else that's going on in Modern right now.
Fortune favors you.
That's unfortunate.
You just gave me an idea.
I think I actually hold these in my hand in case I draw another Amnesia. I'm gonna die relatively quickly here, though. It's unfortunate. It felt like we had a lot of good tools for this matchup. It just kind of fell apart on us. Opponent also hasn't drawn very many lands this game, which is good for them. I mean, I don't think it has anything to do with bigger versus smaller. I think it's just the fact that, like, my opponents had 5 lands in 19 cards, and I've had way more lands than that.
I need to iterate.
Like, their deck is probably a third lands, and if they'd drawn a third lands, we'd probably be okay. Hey, thanks, Mystic. I appreciate the 3 months. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Hey, nice Flab. Congrats. Even have a sheltering light. Yeah, we're done. Rough. Phoenix and Shalai are interesting threats in their deck. They don't really line up well into 3 mana Teferi, but I guess you have smaller haste creatures to pressure that off the table. This has all of our colors in it, at least. Breeding pool makes me uncomfortable. Breeding pool. Breeding pool. At some point, this hand hopes to draw spells, so looks like we're playing against likely the Phoenix deck, so our 4 copies of Narset will be good here. One of the things that you frequently do with Narset in a matchup like this is you just play her and don't use her, so she's difficult to remove from the table. Been here for a long time, mostly on YouTube currently, but I should be able to watch the stream more in the next weeks. Well, thanks for the 14 months, Panda. I appreciate you dropping off that Twitch Prime, even if you've mostly been on YouTube lately. Hope you're having a great Wednesday. M. Graham with the brand new Prime support. Welcome, welcome, welcome. There's a lot of great people who can chip that to every month on Twitch. Thanks for sending it my way this month. I'm just going to go ahead and Vraska down tick on this. Save this for an instant speed interaction later. Even though I can't kill a Phoenix, for example, I can send it back to their hand. This is also the more resource efficient play this turn, which is nice. Vraska alongside Saheeli is actually pretty good too, because she pumps out a constant flow of things for you to sacrifice. Where can I find the decks I've already played today? Everything is still in the deck queue. I don't remove things from the deck queue until they're posted up on YouTube or after my stream's done. So you can always find the decks that we have coming up, as well as the decks that I played earlier today. If you want to watch the videos for things I've already played today too, if you click on videos at the top of my channel, you can actually rewatch earlier parts of today's stream while I'm still streaming as well. So you want to like dig into this morning's Modern, for example, you're able to do that. Oh, Finale of Promise is so good. Where are my Narsets, chat? Where are my Narsets? So this Phoenix is going to kill Vraska here almost certainly. Second Phoenix, yikes. Their hair is really great. We actually just got, ooh, we're leaving Vraska alone. That's good for me. We actually just got Declan his first haircut, so they're both a little bit shorter.
But I must tend to my creations.
So we've got a couple of Cruelties and a couple of Contempts in the main, so we'd like to draw some of those here. God-Eternal Bontu. Can I pivot and race with this card? I feel like I might be able to pivot and race her. I'm gonna bin one land. 5/5/6 is like a big boy. I demanded updating. We do need updated emotes. Actually, it's funny. The clipped hair in that picture is probably pretty close to what their hair is now. I have a picture here somewhere. Here's both of them post haircut. It's still like fairly long. Christy wouldn't cut it that short, but it's definitely like Jake's was like covering his eyes. It had gotten so long. Bontu died, huh? Decline. Definitely can't race at that point. So just hoping to draw our exile spells here. Yeah, definitely, McCullough. Thank you for that. Ugin, eh? Maybe they'll fall for a distraction here.
What an interesting creature. Let's see how you work.
Alright, well that at least deals with one of their threats in the future. Spin that. Not feeling too good about our chances here. Post board, we get to bring in a bunch more objects as Cruelties. We should be in a better spot. Yeah, the fact that this card doesn't exile feels really weird. Just used to the old one exiling, I guess. Even though they didn't pay mana for these, they notably don't die to Ritual of Soot, which is a little unfortunate for us. Do they fall for my distraction? God bless. Make a 1/1 gain 6. Good job, Saheeli. Take one for the team.
We live to fight another day.
They have a third pigeon in the bin? They do. Yeah, I don't know that we're gonna be able to. Vraska's kind of sweet with Ugin as well, because she can throw away the 2/2s and get you back cards underneath them that you want. Which is kind of nice.
My presence alone will guide you towards victory.
Hot butter! Thank you for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. I'm into the post-board games. I definitely don't have the tools to beat these Phoenix this year. We know we're playing against the Phoenix deck, so we have Cry of the Canarium too. That's great. Alright, feeling good about our chances here, post-board. Got a lot of good tools, Narset, and then infinite things at exile. Hey, well I appreciate you dropping in, Hot. Ritual of Soot's pretty bad here. This seems reasonable. I don't love Thief in this matchup. I think this is good. I think if we like run anywhere near average and find a mix of Narsets and exile effects, we're pretty good here. The fact that Cruelty both kills Drakes and exile Phoenixes makes it quite absurd. And it's instant speed to boot. They do, that is good to note too when we're thinking about our plays. They have velocity with their Drakes. They can like jump up and surprise us at times too. I don't think I can keep this one in good conscience. Double Bontu, like, already makes it kind of a mulligan. We're gonna miss our third land drop and just die. Oh, that's awkward. I mean, this is definitely the best of the hands we've looked at, right? Looking at that 6 made me long to get that 7 back. Just like maybe that 7 could draw lands. Maybe that 7 was a hand that could draw some action. Maybe. I'm an Electromancer here. Just a discovery. Yeah, I think this is a cast Narset, leave it on 5 pass turn. I think I want to just guaranteed get that down before they have a chance to draw any more cards. Alright, love to find a black source for next turn. If we find a black source or an Obnixis Cruelty, we should be in a pretty good spot. If we break off and they deploy a threat, we're going to be in trouble. They're pretty unlikely to get a Phoenix back on 3 mana, and if they were, they'd have to burn things like Ops where they're not drawing cards with the Narset in place, so that's good for us. Their best possible turn is probably like Shock Lightning Strike to take the Narset off the table. End step, Lightning Strike, Nahiri, or Saheeli, Narset, Nahiri. Man, that's a planeswalker. That's not even standard legal. Wait, is there a standard legal Nahiri? Anybody, was Nahiri involved in the War of the Spark? Most of them were involved, right? There's the Nahiri in standard. Yeah, there's an uncommon one, right? Yeah, that's the one. Okay. If they untap, if they like burn Narset and then untap and burn to finish her and flip a Phoenix into play here, we're going to be in trouble. But hopefully Narset's just going to slow them down enough that we can make up for the fact that we're stumbling here. She cares about equipment. They could... No, that doesn't work. I was gonna say, they could finale, but that actually doesn't work. This is where the magic happens, chat. Alright, I'm gonna go through something in the microwave while we sit here and stumble and die. Why do they keep shocking? What could they possibly have that they would make them want to shock in here? Tasty, thank you for the 4 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Do I jam this Vraska, or do I just... Like, the Vraska's not doing anything other than just ticking up. Oh, I guess she does draw cards because of this. I guess... They just have counter spells they're holding up. I guess that makes sense. They're shocking to send a message. Yep. It feels bad that I hold the Contempt up here, but like I'm also just like infinite turns from now before I can like hold Contempt up and play my Planeswalker. I guess God-Eternal Bontu is pretty good with Saheeli too, huh? There's some nice little synergies in this deck, past just like the Amnesia combo. Pierce me, daddy. Woohoo! They're shocking in to get this game moving along. Yep. The pot pie actually just finished in the microwave. I was muted because it was beeping. All right, so the fact that I drew this land here actually means I'm gonna go ahead and downtick this, looking for a Thought Erasure. So this way I can Thought Erasure to clear a negate before I have Nyx's Cruelty. Hey, Ivo, thank you for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. And there's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for choosing to support mine. Alright, well, they can put the Phoenix into play, but it require... Actually, they can't, right? Because this chart require them to discard one of these two cards, and they don't get to draw anything. That's sweet. Discovery resolves. To Olsby, thank you for the 5 months. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. I think it's actually important that I kill this turn, so that way they can't turn these on. Are you thinking about radical IDing? Is this going to be a shame concession after you do it? Alright. Alright. I mean, how that one works out for you. It's cool. It's cool.
Keep an open mind.
They need to sync this with the resub day. I agree, dying slowly. At any rate, thanks for the 2/3 of a year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. This is like, okay, if they have a turn to Electromancer, I don't have a good answer to it, but I also don't have a lot of good answers on 2 to Electromancer. Erasure into Cruelty is pretty good, because it means even if they have the Electromancer to power out a Phoenix, the Cruelty cleans up the Phoenix really nicely, and this answers a Drake. And this eventually answers an Electromancer, if it's a little bit slow. Narset is an excellent addition to an already good hand. So they don't have any instance yet for this. I think I actually take the route because Narset's gonna stop the Drake from drawing cards, which is nice. And then Cruelty can kill it. I have 2 of those now. Might see them Tormenting Voice here. I assume they want to do this before I get Narset down. I assume they boarded in Banefire just because they want maximum ways to take this card off the table. I'm just gonna pass here. I think I'd like to use Vraska to kill this and save these 2 to clean up this and this. Because, like, if they use this to get the Phoenix into play, I just like Cruelty the Phoenix, right? It doesn't seem like a big deal. I could have played this and just let her take a hit for 2 here, but then if they draw a 4th land, they can Banefire to finish her, which doesn't seem very good for me. So I'm actually, like, kind of hoping they put the Phoenix into play this turn so I can Cruelty it, use my mana. The glasses are great. I got them here on my desk. We added them as a sponsor. I'm just currently eating, and when I look down, they fall off my face because I'm not particularly graceful. As indicated by the fork I just dropped off my plate. Nah, the frames fit fine. There's just this pesky gravity thing that pulls them off when I look down, straight down.
It's time to step out of the shadows.
Hey, Philly, this is the longest relationship I've ever been in. Thank you for the 37 months. I appreciate it.
Don't be surprised if we meet again.
So in a pretty good spot here. Got Dubs, Narset. Opponent notably missing their second red here still, which is good for us. Wonder if we'll see them burn this Banefire on the Golgari. They draw Spell Pierce, seriously? That's so brutal. Please be an opt, please be an opt, please be an opt. Yikes. Dubby, thank you for the 8 months, I appreciate that. Welcome back. Rough. Wow, I didn't realize how much of a differential there was. My opponent has 15 minutes on their clock. I have 24 minutes on mine. It's a pretty big swing. Maybe they're having some connection issues.
Your lucky day.
Yeah, they're probably having a connection issue or just like doing something else in real life at the same time.
No one is more prepared than me. Meditate and prepare.
Okie doke. I assume we're going to see Drake kill this turn. And they can finale to draw a bunch of cards. They can opt plus Chart of Course with it.
reached my limit.
Kind of surprised to see Banefire get used there. See if they're fortunate enough to rip another Spell Pierce off of this radical idea for our Contempt. I'm doing this now because this way, if they want a radical idea in response, it uses the 2 mana on their turn cycle as opposed to after they've untapped, as opposed to on my end step. So I assume we're going to see them pop off a finale here. I'm a little bit soft to another Drake at the moment. Assume we'll see finale for Tormenting Voice to start. Candidate's interesting. I guess it's a pretty low cost for them to sideboard in a card like this, just so they have so many ways to discard if it ends up not being good. What are they waiting on this card for? I guess they want to just see the most cards possible first to give them the best chance to hit a Phoenix here. Hopefully they put like 2 Phoenixes into play here. We just get to untap and cry them. They ditched a Drake. Really? That's surprising to me. I feel like they just want every threat possible at the moment. My hand's a little ill-equipped to deal with more Drakes, so I'm pretty happy to see that go away. So they get to draw 3 here. Maybe another little mishap on using the Tormenting Voice instead of the Chart of Course. My opponent might not have realized that Tormenting Voice required them to discard even if they flash it back with Finale. Could be a possibility. Still a little shy on double spelling here, but definitely want to 1-for-1 this cry and take their Phoenix out permanently. If they have more Phoenixes, we're going to be in a little bit of trouble. If they brick on a threat, we get a little bit of breathing room. That would be nice. If they play like a Drake and we draw a land, we can Narset into a that's we're a Phoenix. So we're hoping to draw a land or an exile spell. If we draw a land, we can Narset into a Cruelty. Although we're already through 2 Cruelties, so we really like to draw Cruelty, Contempt, or Cry for the turn to deal with this bird permanently. Second best would be a land, so that way I can Narset into one.
Those who cannot listen hone your prowess.
Well, I guess Amnesia technically gives me a bunch of redraws next turn, huh? Yeah, very, very real possibility, Black Sheep. That's, and you know, there's a lot of new people that get into Magic with Arena. That's one of the reasons why I always try, like, when I feel like an opponent's made a mistake from my view on the other side of the table, I try to point out what they could do better and why. Ooh, that makes this a good bit worse.
I have just the trick for this.
That makes my Amnesia a good bit worse. And we're dead. Oh, rough beat. Rough beat. like I ran a little bit bad there. I want to try one more. The core of what this deck is doing seems very reasonable. I want to try and give it one more shake here. It does change the clock if they have a shock, Chalky. They also showed us 4-mana rail earlier, too. Oh, what have I done to myself? Maybe this deck's just a little bit too clunky. Maybe that's its issue. I think I have to bottom that because it's not a blue source. Maybe that's wrong. The standard numbers today are higher than the modern numbers from today. Yesterday we peaked during modern, though. It fell off pretty hard at the end, though, so I think it was just like a time of day thing and who else was on. There's a lot of factors that go into determining who's watching what. We're also at a point in time where like this is like the absolutely lowest and least popular standards going to be this cycle, which is the Mythic Championship and the Mythic Championship and the Red Bull tournament that are coming up. It seems really silly to me that they put them this late into the season. Like, I could see Red Bull not being familiar with how Magic timelines work, but it feels like a miss on WotC's part. Like, they should know how hype works with their game, right? We're just super dead. It's not even just a wheel is in Toth, so you can sacrifice this card to get your other cards back. So you can basically just play this as like a draw 5 or 6, 4, 5, or 6. So you can sacrifice it to this, Bontu, or Ugin. Well, our sideboarding's the same as last time. Maybe I want to keep the moments in. I'm going to keep the moments in this time, actually. God-Eternal Bontu was pretty mediocre. Isn't MH1 the draft format at the next championship, Chalky? I thought the next Mythic Championship is MH1 and Modern. A metric for viewer in relation to your hair doesn't really correlate. I guess I keep this and hope to draw lands. The spells are good, right? The hand only needs to draw lands. I'm confusing the numbers. The next one is Modern. The next paper MC is Modern and Horizons Draft, I believe. Sorry, it's weird to me that they've branded these 68-player arena tournaments and these 500-player paper tournaments as the same thing. There's 25 lands in this deck, which might be low for its curve, but I definitely think, and that's why I decided to play a third match even after we O2. We're definitely running like solidly below average. to do a Horizons draft. My friend Benjamin can usually convince me to draft. Ben and I go way back. Well, I mean, their hand doesn't really do anything. I guess I take the stroke because my hand's got a lot of beef. Good golly. Land. Land. So the people asking about Discovery versus Thought Erasure, what you're really looking for is a why not both meme. We don't need to play one or the other. Quit. I don't know, like I was talking about when we were playing it, I feel like there's a lot of cool synergies in this deck. Maybe the curve needs to come down overall and some kind of smoothing effect needs to be added in. So we could just, like, maybe not brick and die so brutally so often. Like, Dreadhorde General's probably an easy cut and probably, like, cut 2 other spells and fit, like, 3 discoveries in to, like, smooth things out. I definitely think this deck is better than the 0-3 we just played implied. Like, we just really didn't play Magic in a lot of those matches, but I'm kind of off of what this is doing for now after getting beat up and need a change of pace, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap with this one here for the day. On to something else that's sweet. We did not combo kill anyone. That combo is really, really kind of mediocre and hard to pull together.